Top reviews from the United States. Number 1 best CPU for gaming with this value. If you're looking at this as a gaming-only processor, you'll probably get 95% of the gaming performance this offers with the cheaper and cooler i5 13600K. Save your money and put it into a better GPU over buying this, because that will actually result in more FPS, where this processor over the 13600K will not. That being said, this processor is a monster. It's a bear to keep cool, but it has the performance to back it up. Most stable and speedy system I've ever owned. 13th gen might have come out before Ryzen 7000 series, but I still think it's the winner. EK's Nucleus 360mm AIO did a great job at keeping this CPU under control. Number 2, mid-range name with high-end performance capacity. Many folks go for i9s in whichever series Intel brings out at regular intervals, while I have preferred to either go 5s or 7s. Can't imagine a scenario I'd need a 9, since I primarily do 1080p gaming irrespective if it's a 8LA game or indie or some blast from the past from GOG. Would have stuck with 10th gen had that pre-built machine not gone awry. Heating-wise, this can get hot, so invest in at least a 240 or 280 AIO, while a powerful air cooler can also get things manageable, maybe from Deep Cool, Noctua, Be Quiet, etc. If using a less chunky air cooler, then do some undervolting to prevent overheating. I have no complaints with this 13700K. Thanks Amazon and DHL. Number 3. Who needs an i9? This thing is amazing. I built a new computer during the height of COVID. Dummy, I know, right? And decided on a i9 9900K. I'm a sysadmin by trade, so remoting in and fixing servers has never been an issue with that processor. But for gaming, titles like Cyberpunk, Days Gone, to even WoW, there were areas that my 3080 was being bottlenecked by the 9900K. I coupled this CPU with a MSI Edge Z790 DDR4. I have fantastic Samsung BDI CL14 3600 DDR4 from the previous build. So far in Cyberpunk, I'm seeing 25-30 more FPS on 1440p ultra settings W/ray tracing on high. WoW is getting 50 plus more FPS, and I'm getting over 100 FPS in Valdrakken, where I was getting 45. 50 FPS with the 9900K with the same settings as Cyberpunk, 1440p ultra, 10 graphic settings. I'm using the Corsair ICU H100i Elite LCD 240mm AIO with Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut Extreme Thermal Paste to cool this bad boy, and even at prolonged sessions in Cyberpunk, my temps are not getting above 65°, and no, I have not done the contact plate mod. TLDR. This CPU is blazing fast, and if your current processor is a few years old, it may very well be worth the upgrade. I don't claim to be Steve from Gamers Nexus or a pro CPU tester, but I can tell you that this thing is amazing and will serve you well for years to come. Number 4. I previously built an 8th gen i7 for gaming and work, relegating my 1st gen i7 to my hobby, ham radio, after 13 years that Mobo started acting up, and I made the decision to build a new computer for gaming and put the 8th gen to my hobby. The 13700K with the durable motherboard I chose is awesome. It handles the fastest NVMe drives, fastest memory, and keeps up with my extremely high-end video card. I really cannot speak highly enough. I had considered a different brand and the 12th gen i7, but after 2 months with the 13700K, I can honestly say I could not be happier. Thank you, Intel. Number 5, amazing CPU. Noticed huge improvements in performance almost everywhere. Faster load times, higher FPS in games, etc. Performance was especially noticeable in CPU-heavy games such as WoW, that don't require as much GPU power and are heavily bottlenecked by CPU. In cases like those, I doubled FPS going from 9th gen to 13th gen Intel. One thing to note, 13th gen Intel is hot. You may be coming from an older CPU and used to 60, 70°C temperatures at max, then you might think you did something wrong when this one hits the lower 90s a lot. That's just how it is. If you're worried about longevity, set an undervolt offset of about -0.10, preferably in your motherboard's BIOS settings, and the temps will drop by about 10 degrees with no loss of stability.